And welcome back. This is your man Warrior. This is another patron roster review, and this is Sessional Cobra from Force Canada. That's right, Rob's Force Canada. This is now the 7th person in my Patreon that is with Force Canada. They are in Force for sure, and he's doing pretty good because he is a small dolphin, been playing for about a year. He got into Jedi early on, and that was a mistake up until the most recent meta change, and super excited he was able to buy a $10 pack and put Bastila immediately into lead with his other Jedi that he thought were kind of wasteful, and now he's able to have a solid team. Now he wants to know just basically about the arenas and then Zetas, you know, the main arena, ship's arena, and then kind of what Zetas should he focus on first. So first we're going to talk about main arena. With main arena, your team is actually, for your inventory, really the best team that you can compose. Bastila with Ezra Bridger, Obi-Wan, Grandmaster Yoda. I know you're working on unlocking General Kenobi, and I do feel that General Kenobi maxed out is better than Obi-Wan maxed out. Even though Obi-Wan has ability block and whatnot, I just feel like the cleanse, the retribution, and the tankiness of General Kenobi works more in your favor with the foresight and all sorts of that synergy. So with that said, that will happen eventually, but for now, Obi-Wan works phenomenal. In fact, he would be, in my opinion, the second best tank for this team composition. And so Bastila lead, Grandmaster Yoda, Ezra, and Obi-Wan. Now you need a 5th, and right now your 5th is Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's great, and when you look at the rest of your roster, you can see that basically Grand Admiral Thrawn is the only real viable option in this particular setup. However, if you really hyper-focused on your Darth Nihilus, you have him at gear 8 right now, and Darth Nihilus would be a valid 5th for this particular team. You can continue to slow farm his 7th star and continue to gear him. He's a really tanky character, and he has a control piece. Just like Thrawn has Fracture, he's got cooldown increases that are really going to negatively affect the opponent's teams, giving you a little bit more control. Plus, he brings an Annihilate, so when you're dealing with a team that's frustrating, this guy is going to help. And what's really cool is when your team's on defense, people are going to see Nihilus, know he's a ticking time bomb, and kind of focus him down first, killing him because he's not going to get all the bonuses that all of the other Jedi have from Bastila Shan. And so because of that, they're going to try and target him first. What that does is leave the rest of your Jedi alone so they can jack their team up and do all that damage and get that turn meter train going and get all the buffs going, and it really is a bad strategy because there's other characters such as Ezra and Grandmaster Yoda who really should be focused down first, and they're going to focus on the wrong people because of Darth Nihilus just being present. But it does provide more control and the ability to get through some harder teams, so highly consider your Darth Nihilus in it. Now as far as the rest of Arena, you know, possible second team, things like that, I mean, obviously you don't have CLS or JTR yet. You're working on those characters to make sure that you can get those characters, and those are kind of the future, and you want to have some Zetas possibly in reserve for those characters when you unlock them. But as far as the teams go, I wouldn't worry about a second team for now. You really have a meta team, and this is a long-term meta team. And so really what you need to focus on is these characters you're using, their gear, because more gear equals more stats equals more damage and better on offense and defense, as well as your mods. And so when we're looking at mods, I know it's like, well, I haven't had very many good mods in the past, but here you've got, you know, crit damage, speed, health. And so you're not even getting any sets except for the health set bonus. And now all of the mods in Mods 2.0 are open for farming for anybody. So now you can farm for mods for anything. You can get offense mods if you want to focus on offense mods. You can get crit chance mods. You can get defense mods. And so when we're looking at your team, I'm going to suggest that you do 3 defense sets for Old Ben. And then after you have your 3 defense sets for Old Ben, with as much protection and health as possible, you're going to do offense set and a crit chance set for the other 4. The offense to increase and boost their overall damage, and crit chance to help them crit a little bit more often than normal. But those 4, you definitely want to go an offense set and a crit chance set. So you're going to need to start farming for the gear and farming for the mods, for the offense sets, crit chance sets, the defense sets for Old Ben, because mods are going to make the difference now between your team and the teams in the top 200 and the top 100, and gear. So when your gear gets up and your mods get up, you're going to see this exact team actually actually doing better, 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 better. Don't give up on the team just because you don't feel like it's giving you the results. Focus down on this team and their gear and their mods, and really utilize the tools of Mods 2.0 to find all of your very best mods. You might already have some defense mods sitting around on other tunes that you can pull and put onto this character, Old Ben, or maybe you have some offense mods you thought were wasted from another event that now you can pull in and put onto these characters and see the damage increase significantly rise and see how much easier it will be in Arena. So that's my best suggestion to you. Now, like I said, I know you've only been playing for a year and you're a small dolphin, so it's kind of hard because you got to really take your time when you're spending money to know what you're focused on money wise. And right now, really refreshes for gear and for mods is what you're going to need to focus on, in my opinion. I wouldn't worry about purchasing anything else out of the store for right now. Now, as far as your fleet, I'm looking at your fleet. You're in the top 100. You're using Executrix. You're using a First Order TIE Pilot crew, and then, of course, Biggs. It's great. Looks phenomenal. And I know what you're using in your backup because you've got, TIE Advance and Slave 1 in the reinforcements, and they're maxed out on reinforcements. But I'm going to suggest you try another team. All the team can stay the same, except for you have a really high Ghost and Phantom for your team. I know you don't have a ton of ships available because you don't have them all unlocked. And so the first thing I'd say is you need to focus on getting Cassian, his ship, and his crew members. And I know that's a terrible side project for you to focus on, but you need to, because you want to get the Executrix, but you also want to get the Chimera. And the Chimera is going to need 5 Rebel ships. And so with that, you're going to want to get Cassian. Plus, Cassian's going to be long-term one of the top 5 best reinforcement ships in the game for you, for your lineup. And so my suggestion is, right now you're using First Order TIE Fighter in the initial 3 line. And that's great because he does target lock, he can hit a couple of times potentially, and he does some decent damage. But I'm going to suggest you use Ghost. And the reason is Ghost can actually stealth immediately. In fact, this is what the AI will use, Static Jammer. And when Ghost is stealth, it automatically does crit damage. So you're going to get crits no matter what. And so because of that, this ship is going to be able to go pretty quick. He's going to stealth your cruise ship, so you don't have to worry about people destroying cruise ship. And your cruise ship is great because Kylo Ren Unmasked's TIE Silencer actually stuns on basic and has a heavy hitting, with advantage, a heavy hitting special. So with its stealth, you're going to be able to have more control with the stun, and you're going to be able to have more damage coming from that. Now, I know that you, because of Ghost and crew, you're like, well, how is Biggs going to stay alive? Because Biggs, needs target lock to regenerate his protection. And I know that there's a possibility this might not work out because of that. But with the Executrix, if you have Phantom 1 in your first line, and then TIE Fighter, TIE Advanced, and then Slave 1, you'd be doing really well, because this will come in and immediately use Sights Locked, which is going to give the target the possible double target lock, which is the protection regen you're looking for. And all you would need to do is get Covert Strike maxed out. And so this would be the one reinforcement in the entire game I would highly focus on. In fact, I did an entire video on just the Phantom 2. It was a ship spotlight video. Go check it out if you haven't. But Phantom 2 and Ghost would be 2 that I would highly develop and work on with Phantom 2's reinforcement. And then, of course, I have TIE Advanced as a suggestion afterwards. And so as soon as he comes in, he's going to be target locking everybody. And if Biggs is still around, he's going to be regenerating a ton of protection. It does leave you slightly vulnerable in your initial lineup by putting in Ghost over your TIE, but I want you to try it. Why not, right? To see whether you have more luck with this suggestion or whether your old team just works better. But keep it in mind that your Ghost, again, can come in and immediately stealth crew. And so you're going to force them to kill Biggs, which is okay. That's kind of his point, right? But it bides time for you to be able to bring in the other ships that you want, such as the Phantom 2, as well as being able to possibly bring in TIE Advance for your target lock, or bringing in Slave 1 if you want to do a bunch of damage and have another tank available. So that's the right now kind of setup that I would suggest. Remember, Ghost you're going to want to focus on since it'll be in your front 3, and the Phantom you definitely need to get the reinforcement maxed out, because the whole point of Phantom 2 in your back lineup is that it would be maxed out. And remember, you don't have Cassian. I would highly recommend getting Cassian's U-Wing and getting the characters leveled up 7-star, gear 11 eventually, but right now gear 8-9 for the Cassian's U-Wing. And then once you have Cassian's Ewing at like 5 stars, max out its reinforcement ability, and you can start to use it. It has a call to assist, which works really well, especially with the Rebel synergy that you have. So consider that. And let's go ahead, now that we've got an alternate ship's idea and we've talked about Arena where you need to gear and do mods, let's talk about some of the Zeta possibilities for your roster. All right, the first Zeta opportunity that I had suggested already once was saving for CLS and RJT. You know, Rey Jedi Training Ray as well as Commander Luke Skywalker both have 3 Zetas because they're both legendary or they're heroes' journeys characters, and that's 6 Zetas alone. And both of those characters are amazing and both can work really well in your team. In fact, CLS, Commander Luke Skywalker, works as a phenomenal 5th character instead of Grand Admiral Thrawn. You can use Thrawn or him in that 5th slot with the existing team that you have. So the very first is it never hurts to hoard, especially Zetas, because you never know where the game is going, and having Zetas in a stockpile is always better than having none when something major changes. But I'm going to give you 2 suggestions for what you have, because you do have a decent roster and they're in this top 3 rows. And the first is Number Crunch from R2-D2. And the reason for Numbers Crunch is pretty obvious. Numbers Crunch gives you the ability to bolster your entire team, your light side team, and R2-D2 shares stats. And so you'll be able to bolster his stats and then share them amongst the team. It makes teams more durable, and R2-D2 is just a really great character, and you're going to need him anyway for CLS. So giving Numbers Crunch Zeta is going to help you when CLS comes around, especially since some of your other characters to get CLS are lower gear. It's going to be a struggle to get him, but with the Zeta, it's going to make it all the easier. The second Zeta I see as viable right now comes out of your first order. And I know that you put in enough energy into first order to get BB-8 and you're kind of like, all right, I'm done. But this team's really great in territory wars, territory battles. And I know you probably don't see a ton of success with it because you're like, wow, they're gear 8, gear 9. What really good are they? But as soon as you Zeta Kylo Ren Unmasked leadership, the whole team pops and becomes a really, really viable team in all areas of the game. And the biggest thing is you use Kylo's TIE Silencer in your initial 3 in ships, and that Zeta will make that ship faster, healthier, and do more damage, which is huge for ships because you want to improve your ships. So this Zeta is, in my opinion, actually the #1 most important Zeta in the game for you. And then after that, R2-D2's Number Crunch to help you with CLS and just overall in the game. It's a phenomenal Zeta. So those are my Zeta suggestions other than saving Kylo Ren first and then R2-D2. So you're doing really well in both arenas. Regular arena, you look well, but just remember gear and mods. Those are the 2 ways to improve your stats and make this team stronger and more durable, but nothing's wrong with the team you're using. With Fleet Arena, you're going to have to really develop all of your crew members, and you're going to have to start developing out the ships a little bit more so you have more options, such as Cassian for the backup. I like Executrix in this lineup, but there's no healing with Executrix, so I think Chimera would be a better slot. And so you've got to get those 5 rebels so you can get the Chimera for this particular lineup. And remember, I suggested Ghost instead of First Order TIE Pilot, just as a thought to try to see if stealthing crew is going to help at all with chewing through the top 100 and getting a little more solidified in that top 100 of the fleet rank. I hope this has helped. If you have questions, Sessional Cobra, hit me up on private Discord. If anyone has any ideas for fleet or for arena, you can leave them in the comments down below for him. And as always, keep your gaming on. Warrior out.